MD90's channel. Thank you so much for clicking. If you're new, please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button down here. Is it here or here? I think it's here. Yeah, subscribe, leave a comment, let us know what you think, and share the video.
Well, the Patriotic Front says the judiciary is not free, according to the Daily Nation. So, and then also they state that there is no Edgar Chagalungu Patriotic Front movement in PF. And part of the statement says judiciary part of a plot to kill Patriotic Front. Says it is critical. It's critical clear, crystal clear. That the judiciary is not willing to have Patriotic Front cases in court resolved. Wonders why it has been 4 years of judiciary failing to deliver judgments on cases involving former ruling party. So that's the argument that the Patriotic Front is giving to say, I mean, it's been 4 years and nothing seems to be moving in court. What is the Mingala to Pro Max rocking Tonse? Say that's according to KBF. Part of those statements, and then come with the precious unity in Tonse Alliance. Those are some of the statements coming through. But what has taken over is this news of Sampa. So just a couple of hours ago, Sampa put up a post. As you may be aware, he was recently charged a 1 million kwacha bail for his recent statements that he made during the Chawama by-elections. And as a result of that court case is likely to take place. But prior to that, if you remember when Sampa took over the Patriotic Front during that convention that he held at Mulungushi Conference Center, should have been in 2023, if not 2022, thereabout. Then he broke away with Chavinga and Dingona. Then they took that part and took him to court and pretty much wanted his seat to be nullified. And he has said this, so he put up a post where he writes, so Sampa warns they are targeting Matero's seat. So he says this court case is pretty much a target to have his seat nullified. And he says, Honorable Sampa wrote, the Constitutional Court matter that Morgan Ingona and Kakong Kubiti, referring to Robert Chavinga, sued the Speaker, Madam Nelly Muti, to declare Matero's seat vacant, comes up for judgment tomorrow. So this statement is coming just hours before the judgment is to be given in that particular court case. And that's when you're sharing his thoughts to say, and it goes further to say, if the ruling goes against the Speaker, represented by the Attorney General, Kabesha, a by-election would instantly be triggered in Matero constituency. Otherwise, for me, I can only and always find comfort in Psalms 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He guides me along the nights of path through darkest valleys. I fear no evil, for you are with me. Whatever comes, it is well with my soul. Amen. Sampa. So it's that post that has a number of people wondering to say, is it that he feels the verdict from that court case will go against him because it's giving that energy kind of thing? Because even in his comment section, people are like, since when did Sampa start quoting scriptures and being very super religious? Because that's not his trait, ideally, from what they know him from. And then people are attributing it to some of these statements in the mass newspaper where the loss, Ibaba, United Party for National Development, UPND, is still in disarray after losing Chawama, confesses Liswaniso. That's should be Youth National Chairperson, that statement. So it seems like maybe the UPND would like a rematch before the general elections, and Matero will present its best, like the best option to have that rematch, because the one that was likely to be the last, at least, big election was the one that's taking place this Thursday in Kasama. That's the mayoral seat, where pretty much all the big shots from the UPND and big shots from the Patriotic Front, which is now represented by the FTD, have been to Kasama to go and campaign for the preferred candidates. But from the look of things, from Mao Sampa's demeanor, the likelihood of that court case that's coming up in a couple of hours from now, it seems like we might have another by-election before the general election. Now, one would wonder to say, if we have a by-election now, because once his seat is nullified, let's say he loses that court case that's coming up in a couple of hours, the by-elections are supposed to take place within 90 days. So Parliament right now is not yet opened. At least they haven't yet started meeting. They're likely to start meeting in February. So pretty much February comes up. The Speaker of the National Assembly nullifies Mao Sampa's, pretty much declares the seat vacant. That will be in February. Meaning now the ECZ will be notified and they've got 90 days to hold those by-elections. Now, 90 days from February is pretty much like the entire session of Parliament that is going to be open before Parliament is dissolved in May. And so whoever is going to be voted in, let's say the elections take place in April, whether it be 1st April or 30th April, it does not make any difference. So whichever MP is going to be elected then is just going to be in Parliament for, I think, a week or so before Parliament is nullified. So I don't know how that works with the thing of gratuity. Who gets the gratuity in that sense? The person that has served for 5 years or the person that comes at the final hour? That's if Mao Sampa loses that by-election anyway. But anyway, let's wait and see how this is likely to play out in court. And obviously, George Mutonga, a UPND supporter in the United States, says, I wonder if there is a law that will prevent all this nonsense. So pretty much the likelihood of these by-elections is totally unnecessary, honestly. Aside from the Kasama by-elections, where the mayor died, that's understandable. The two the Chawama by-elections and also this same one, which is likely to take place, the Matero by-elections, it's totally unnecessary because we're going to the general pause. So I don't know how that works, honestly. It's totally unnecessary. But yeah, so that's some of the documents from court that he has published. And George Mutonga had some words to say aside from that comment that he made to say this by-election is a total nonsense if it's likely to take place. I know at this point, we do not know what the verdict is going to come off from that court case. But from the demeanor that Mao Sampa is giving, it's given, I think he knows how the court case has been proceeding. And that's why he's giving those scripture references from the look of things. And then UPND will never win the Matero Parliamentary seat, Mao Sampa says. So such statements also have been attributed to him. You know, when someone is upset and has been cornered, like you start venting, it's looking like one of those situations. And then George Mutonga doubles down and says, I wonder how he would vote if there was a law that would prevent this type of thing, this type of thing if it was brought to Parliament. So he's simply saying if by-elections were totally out of the picture, unless if a death appears, if that was to be brought in Parliament, would Mao Sampa support it? That's obviously in the next session of Parliament. He asks, obviously, those are some of the court documents Mao Sampa publicized. Then George Mutonga went further to put up an article to say, okay, fine. At this point, everyone already knows who they will vote for. Nothing is going to change the votes between now and August. And that's a reality. So I don't see why we need to be having these by-elections if the court case, Mao Sampa loses that court case. Because the reality is that the bigger picture is August. It's totally unnecessary. Anyway, George goes further to say, you have seen some independents who can be convinced, but they have two versions of Zambia they can choose from: United Party for National Development and the Patriotic Front. Everyone has seen what UPND version and the Patriotic Front version is. Most important thing for us in the United Party for National Development, UPND, is not to win the opposition votes. Most important is to drum our base. This remains the only priority. Focus on our base and get as many to come out and vote as you can. Communicate with UPND voters and not anyone else. There are people who will never vote for the United Party for National Development, UPND, no matter what. Take me, for instance, he gives himself as an example. I can never support guys in the opposition because I've never seen or consider them to be intelligent. So no matter what they do, they can never change my vote. So it's pointless for them to try and change me or solicit my vote. So same thing applies with the opposition. There are certain people that will never vote for UPND. He says, don't worry about votes that will never be yours. Worry about votes that are already yours and the independents that can be convinced through logic. The focus during these campaigns is Ichimwela for base and logical persuasion for those independents, the independent thinkers. That's his argument. And Sampa says, dear Matero, Chawama, Lusaka, and beyond, my phone has been, and SIM card, and shares his number, was taken by the big bosses at police station as part of their investigations. I shall advise my new number if at acquire one Zikomo. So, but Mausaba is giving like he already knows the verdict from this court case. His reaction is something else, and obviously, the Patriotic Front say Matero constituency battle has been drawn, and those are the candidates that are likely to vie for the seat. And the most strong one, and likely to be the UPND candidate, is that guy that you see that's been shown twice in this picture. That's Alex, but the guy on the phone and also with the board there, the light-skinned guy. That's likely to be the UPND candidate if Matero does go to the by-elections now, right before August. So yeah, and Patriotic Front says Matero constituency in Lusaka has over 144,000 registered voters. And then the wards that make up Matero constituency says Mchinga ward 28, Mwembeshi ward 31, Kapwepwe ward 29, Lima ward 30, and 177 police stations. So Matero seems going that direction from these posts that are coming up. Zambia failed to reach the 1 million ton copper production target for 2025 because the Sino Metal leach plant remains closed after the pollution incident. And another challenge was the drop in production at First Quantum Trident Mining, which reduced output by almost 40,000 tons. Ministry of my Mines Ministry reveals, and also we have a fortune and a misfortune that the country does not know that we have did not know that we have God, and now that we have God, we are trying to manage it properly. That's Hakainde Ichidema, part of the statement that was given earlier on State House today. And then Shimba Kambwili forgives Kashishi, that's in Kasama. So Patriotic Front presidential aspirant Shimba Kambwili has forgiven Charles Kashishi, the Patriotic Front Provincial Information Publicity Secretary of Northern Province. The two are campaigning together for the Tonse Alliance. Candidate Peter Yunda Chikweti. So pretty much some reconciliation happening on the campaign trail in Kasama. And then obviously that's what the news diggers say. That's what money says. It's a stabilized forex market to protect Kwacha economists advisors. And then that's in the Real Times. And then Daily Mail says the economy to grow beyond projection. And that's the Times of Zambia. And pretty much that's the news, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night or good morning, depending on which time zone you're watching this from.